we're going to have our first mid-match catch-up. We're an hour and 11 minutes in, and to be honest, it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Sort of with the wind blowing down, looking at it to start with, sort of plenty of fish milling around like pimps coming up. I thought it's going to be quite good. And when I left you, I thought I'm going to have a go, obviously in the edge with our large guru pot and some maggots on the hook. And what I feared did happen, if that makes sense, in the fact that I caught sort of 3 perch in 3 casts, and then I sat waiting for a while for an indication, no signs. So I felt sort of, I probably fed a little bit too much ground bait down there for how it was fishing, and had a little go down our left hand edge, just where I've been chucking a bit of meat, and I never had a bite on it. But to be honest, looking around, like, there's fish being caught, but no one, from what I can see, looks like they're really setting the world alight. So had a drop in on my real short maggot line, just where I've been priming my maggots, went in and caught sort of 3 or 4 perch and a skimmer. But I was waiting quite, a bit of time for those bites. So I picked up me slightly deeper rig. It's probably 4 or 5 inches deeper, but it's where the bottom sort of flattens off, and started where my tape is on my 5th section. Again, I went in, I was getting an odd bite, but not millions, so just pushed out, which is the same depth, to the end of my 5th section, and I've caught, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 skimmers, a couple of stockies, and 1 slightly better F1. Again, looking around, sort of what are normally quite good pegs, sort of 29 and 31. The lad on 31's fishing shallow, and again, I've seen him catch sort of a couple of stockies, and Steve on 29, Steve Conway, I've seen him catch a couple of slightly better fish, but sort of at the moment, a little sign then on the way down. At the moment, say no one's really sort of setting the world alight. I can't look somewhere and see someone fishing long shallow and catching 1 a chuck. Sort of looking at our peg, since I've gone out to the end of my 5, I've started to get, more signs. I did foul hook one where my float dinked, and it was way off bottom. I had a quick go, shallow, and I caught 1 roach. Again, you can just feel it being sat here now, sort of the temperature has definitely dropped. So I'm just thinking, if I stay on the bottom, keep putting some fish in the net, no matter what they are. And now I've gone sort of that section further, I'll show you what my plan is, what I'm going to start doing just for a little bit of time until hopefully something changes. So I just bait up again, double white maggot. All I'm going to do is just like a little squeeze, like not a lot of ground bait, every 10 minutes maybe, just chucking that slightly down slope from where I'm fishing, and then my short line is literally right here. So what I want to do is sort of ship out to the end of my 5, because I want to be catching them there, because I know if I get some bites there, they're going to be better fish. And the fact that I've had an odd sign off the bottom here, what I want to happen is I'm just throwing a few maggots, like on my real short line, not loads, just for, a few maggots. And then what I'm hoping is going to happen, whether it does or not, the fact that I've had an odd sign off the bottom here, is what I think I might be able to do, is go maybe on my 6th section in a bit, if it warms up enough, or if the fish respond and want to come off the bottom, is sort of fish shallow with me short kit, my short 4, my 5 and my 6, and then I can drop on the bottom real short. And that's how I ended up fishing when we was on that peg 27. Went in on the bottom, caught a few, They come shallow. You go in and you catch a few shallow, but they wouldn't stay because I think, you know, on average they were a lot bigger. Whereas when we was on extension on the first day, because there's so many stockies in that lake, you can just fish sort of shallow all day. So every time I ship out, just sort of, you know, feed me maggots twice on my line that I'm fishing, and then just throw a few maggots short on my top kit line. So the fact that I've had a few signs off the bottom and there's an odd fish milling around, I don't want to sort of just go out and out shallow. It might be a mistake, you know, at the end of it we might look and wish we'd have fished a bit longer shallow. But the one thing that I've noticed, especially in this area as well, when it comes to fishing, you know, on the bottom and shallow, to be honest, is there's a lot more smaller fish like roach, skimmers, not necessarily perch. You catch more perch on the bottom, definitely, but when it comes to your shallow fishing, there definitely seems to be a few more sort of smaller fish in this area. I just feel like if I just keep throwing a few maggots on that top kit line, if I do start to get a few signs off the bottom, I mean, I'm hoping they will at some point, because the wind's blowing down here. We're getting plenty of signs on the bottom. I'm just going to swing my rig a little bit further just because there's a bit of stuff floating. And looking around, you can just tell that it feels like the temperature's just taking its toll a little bit. It's definitely cooling down. I feel it sat here, to be honest. But the fact that we're getting a few bites, admittedly not the fish that I want to be catching, but if you're looking around and no one's really sort of setting the world alight, I might as well keep trying to put something in the keep net, and then hopefully when, say, I'm sure at some point we'll have a run of those bigger F1s, whether it be on our top kit line. So I'm going to keep, you know, having an odd look there. Okay, just before I ship out, I'm just going to throw a few bits of meat down the edge. Just then pop my awning back up, just so my maggots don't get wet. So again, throwing my maggots sort of on my float twice, and then just see there, as soon as my maggots settled, and then a few on that top kit line. That way at any point we can, you know, drop in on it and try and catch an odd better one. A little stocky. So yeah, looking around, I feel like we're doing okay at the moment. We're putting, you know, some fish in the net, but you can feel it's totally different today. So that wind, bitter. Like normally when it's a warm wind here, it always blows that way. So sort of down to 33, 35 on new, down to sort of pegs 2 and 27 on house. Oh, bit far. Getting down to sort of peg 8, 11, 13, that bottom end of Jenny's. Again, that bottom end of club, like 11 and 13 on club. See there, little sign, just my rig was settling. Trying to do me around the tree root, little stocky. So yeah, at the moment, look, I just got to keep putting some fish in the net. Again, like when I'm looking around, like I'm not seeing anyone nail a load of big uns, sort of fishing in the edge. But it's just a case of, I think now, again, just keep feeding all my lines. So if I need to, and drop back in, especially like that edge line, I can keep dropping back in and sort of repriming these lines if I need to. Again, 2 lots of maggots there, and then just a few on my little top kit line. This is one bit, I'll be honest, when when I'm fishing in this area, what I really felt like I'd done wrong. I know you can't fish, you know, new matches trying to undo the wrongs that you did on previous matches, if that makes sense. But this was the bit that I felt, you know, I wasn't getting anywhere near as many bites as this when we was on peg 10.